Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to review my two favorite concealers and I wanted to compare them. Since I've been talking about the Fitglow Beauty Concealer for so long, I think when I threw up my review of the KOSAS Revealer Concealer, a lot of you wanted to know exactly how they compare. Now, though they are both my favorite, they're also both very different. They do have some similar qualities as far as the skincare and makeup in one benefits, but I wanted to actually show you. So I'm gonna do one eye with Fitglow, one eye with KOSAS, and really get down to it. So right now I just have eyebrows on and foundation. You can definitely see that the under eyes are more noticeable because everything else is perfected and it's just kind of like, so I definitely wanted to share these with you. But first, let's talk about price, shade options, some ingredients inside here, as well as how much comes in the bottle, so we could do the most full-on comparison and figure out which would maybe be the best for you. Alright, so let's start with the Fitglow Beauty Concealer. I think this is the one that probably the most of you are familiar with. I've been talking about this one the longest. The Fitglow Beauty Concealer looks a little something like this. I love the packaging, I just do. And when you unscrew it, I use the shade C3, by the way. It just has a doe foot applicator. Now, this is a stiff doe foot applicator, similar to something that you'd see in like a lip gloss or something like that. It is not at all bendy, and it is a little bit shorter than a traditional lip gloss applicator as well, which I like because I think you get a little bit more control. So I really like that about this product. Inside, there are 6.2 milliliters worth of product, or 0.21 ounces, and this is a full coverage concealer. That's what it claims to be. That's how it performs as one of my favorites as well. This is meant to diminish the look of blemishes, pigmentation, and fine lines. Have I noticed that even with continued use? It's hard to say it would just be this, because I do always put something underneath my eyes. That's probably something I am the most liberal about. Seriously. Let's move on to KOSAS, and then I will go ahead and start applying these products. So the KOSAS concealer looks a little something like this. Also very beautiful packaging. I actually like this bright yellow tube so I can kind of find it floating around my bag or in my makeup collection. When you unscrew it, it's also a doe foot applicator, but this one's very bendy, and it is that more paddle shape than your traditional doe foot applicator. And you can see a lot more product adheres on to this more paddle-like applicator, which, since this is a medium to full coverage concealer, you may prefer, but you can always just wipe the excess off on the edges. That's really, really easy fix. Not something that worries me. So this comes in 16 shades. The Fitglow comes in 9. This is 6 milliliters worth of product for $28. So it is almost half the price of the Fitglow, with only very slightly less product. So there's a big drastic price difference if that is a determining factor for you. However, this is a medium to full coverage option that also claims to brighten, soothe, and plump. So this is geared towards a little bit more of that hydrating aspect rather than helping diminish any blemishes or pigmentation. So in here, there's caffeine and pink algae that helps with the brightening process. There's arnica and panthenol, which does claim to treat blemishes. That is the soothing aspect of it, as well as plump with hyaluronic acid. And that, I think, is why I love this product a lot. Now, though both of these are my favorite, I obviously go back and forth between the two that I like to use. The application of them is incredibly, incredibly different. So you could see they're pretty different right out the gate. I could see someone wanting to have both of these in their collection, but I could also see, okay, let's decide really what's best for me. So I'm going to take you guys a little bit closer and we're going to start applying these products, and I will go really in depth on how I like to do so, show you how they both look as well, and then you could decide which one's the best for you. Alright, so we're going to zoom you in this close, and then I'll get like super mega zoom in close when I show you the finished product. So let's start with the Fitglow concealer. Fitglow will do on this eye, KOSAS will do on this eye. So the Fitglow, I wear the shade C3, like I said. Now this, I just go straight in. Like I mentioned when I was showing you how the product looks, this dispenses very minimal product on the doe foot applicator, which I like because since it is full coverage, you do not need a lot. So I really just like to focus this product like this. So the consistency of this is much more whipped. It's much more full on immediately, but both of them blend really nicely. So this is more of like a whipped matte texture, but it's not at all drying. As someone who suffers with more dry under eyes, I promise I wouldn't lead you astray. So this, I like to just go directly in with my beauty sponge. I'm gonna be using the Eco Tools beauty sponge today, and I just start patting this product in. Now, I like to use a beauty sponge, despite the fact that I want more coverage, because I'd rather build up my product rather than immediately have it. Again, I'm worried about the under eyes looking crusty, so I do everything at all costs to avoid it. So now that I have that one layer, and you can see it blended immediately, beautifully, and look at the difference between my two eyes. Already nice coverage. Now I actually like to build this up a little bit, so then I'll go in and I'll just put like a dot here. And this is a little redder than I would like, so I'm gonna put a little bit here, just like that. And then I don't really have any blemishes I wanna cover. We'll do this one here on my lip because I do have a little one there. And again, I am just going to, this I'll probably just tap in with my finger because it's such a small little bit. And if you want it to be full on, take something like a concealer brush is what I'll be using for the KOSAS. You could use that on this side too. So I'm just gonna take my sponge, blend, blend, blend. So this one's full on right away. It just completely erased everything. It does look a little shiny here on camera, much shinier than it looks in real life. I am going to set this. I always set my under eyes, but it is also due to the dampness of the sponge, so keep that in mind as well. Now I'm gonna go in with the KOSAS. I did a full review on this, so I'm doing this just really for the sake of comparison. If you want a really full-on review, I will link that down below. But this, I like to use a little bit more product. So I'm gonna take this all the way down like this. Gonna put the same thing, I'm gonna do this around my nose. And then, like I said, I don't really have anything to conceal. I'll do a little something here just because. Now, since this is so liquidy, it could really start to move around and separate if you just go in with a sponge. So I like, unless like this area, I could probably just take a sponge right away. But I like to take a concealer brush first. So I love the Fitglow concealer brush. I don't know where mine is, but I'll link it down below. Today I'm gonna be using this Alima Pure one. And I do these sort of pressing motions because I do want to maximize the coverage. The under eyes are the area that I definitely need the most coverage, but this is much more liquidy. I also use the shade 3 in KOSAS. This is much more liquidy and again, not quite as full coverage. So these are actually products that I would probably use in tandem a lot of times. I'd put this on first just so it looks more natural and fresh, and then do that extra little bit where I need it. I'm just gonna keep blending this in. Again, you don't need to fully blend it in because I am gonna go over with the sponge. This is just how I initially like to blend the product. You can see how much it moves around though. You really don't need to put a lot because it spreads so much, and then you could go in and blend. So I'm just gonna go in with the sponge now. So I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell from this distance. I actually think you can because this looks so perfected that this is still a little imperfect, but I love the very natural look of it, especially if you're wearing something a little more natural. So I'm gonna go in with just a touch more of this as well and just build up this coverage. But the coverage is probably the biggest difference between these two products. Okay, so I have you mega zoomed in so we could see the difference. This is of course the Fitglow side. This is the KOSAS side. So you can see this is much more full on. I have yet to powder. I'm gonna be doing that here in a moment. This is much more perfected, full on coverage. Looks really smooth underneath the eyes, which I love despite its more full on texture. Covered up the redness really nicely around here as well. But again, it's not this bulletproof, stiff, matte, full coverage, which is why I like this product. This one just looks a lot more natural. This just looks like I kind of woke up like this. It's more undetectable makeup, I think, than this side, though they both look really light on the skin, which I love. So that is the difference between these two. Now let's quickly powder this. I'm using the 100% pure bamboo blur powder. This is my favorite powder. Works wonderfully with both these products, and this will immediately take away from the shine and lock these products into place. All right, everyone, so I am foundationed, concealed, and browed. That is everything comparing the Fitglow Beauty Concealer and the KOSAS Revealer Concealer. Those are my two favorite concealers. So if you're more of a natural girl, you like more of a tinted moisturizer, less makeup-y looking makeup, I suggest the KOSAS, provided you are okay with the additional steps as far as applying the product, because I do think a brush applies it the most nicely. If you would like a very full-on review, I did review that product extensively, so I'm gonna link it down below. As far as Fitglow, I love this concealer as well. I think this is something that a lot of you would still use because we like a very full coverage under the eyes that still looks natural. So even though I set the under eyes, you could see that they didn't look crepey, creasy, anything like that. A big determining factor is, of course, the steep price difference between the two, but they do have similar claims. A little less product in KOSAS, a little more in Fitglow. Different applicators. There are a lot of differences, though there are many similarities, and I do love them both. Like I said, they're both my favorite. Just kind of depends what mood I'm in. Sometimes I just want something to look a little bit more see-through and breathable, and that's when I'll go for something like the KOSAS. But that is it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. Please let me know. Let me get this concealer off my lips. That looks better. All right. Let me know what videos you would like to see here. Of course, I have significantly more time to be making them for you, but I'm very much enjoying the welcome distraction. So thank you so much for watching. Anything that I used on my face prior to this, both skin prep, foundation, and brows, what products I use, I'm going to have them down below as well. Like I said, please let me know what you'd like to see next. Thank you so much for watching. But everything that I mentioned will be available to shop as well, so please go ahead and check out that description box down below. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe, and I will catch you all in my next one. Bye!